for staying with us. Let's see what's buzzing on the front pages of the morning.
Our newspaper reviewer Chukwudi Okolu Baja is in the studio. Chukwudi, good morning.
How are you, my dear Jumai? Victor,
Good morning.
I hope we make you sufficiently jealous the way we greet each other.
Well, just do your 5 minutes and go.
Oh my God.
I'm the landlord. All right. I'll begin with the Vanguard. And the lead story here reads, operating PH refinery ahead of full turnaround, ill-informed. That's credited to the NNPCL. Rules out sale of refineries. $18 billion spent on 3 refineries, TAM, others so far. Okay? And there's a picture story of Vice President Kashim Shettima at the UN Foods Summit. Just above the nameplate, mixed reactions trail INEC's verdict on LG polls. That's on page 32. Hospital services disrupted as nurses strike enters day 3. Negotiations continue tomorrow. That's on page 8. And IDP's protests in Benue block Makurdi Lafia Road. That's on page 7. And just coming down to the bottom of the front page of the Vanguard, Presidency, ex-ADC chair Bika over alleged ministerial bribe offer is on page 32. And just a tiny, looks like a tiny story. Sports, my generation was robbed. That's credited to Patience Havre. Then Nigeria was heading for 12 trillion naira subsidy debt. That's according to the PCNGI. It's on page 8. Phantom coup. Labour Party alleges harassment of leaders. That's on page 9. And that takes us to the blueprint. And there's still that story related to the Port Harcourt refinery. NNPCL rules out sale of Port Harcourt refinery, reaffirms commitment to full rehabilitation. Indeed, and above the nameplate, Anambra, pregnant nurse murdered. Body parts sold to native doctors. It's on page 9. And below the nameplate, we are committed to protecting press freedom. That's according to Information Minister Idris, page 18. Keyamo hosts Morphe, Qatari investors, sector eyes investment boost on page 21. And in sports, Chan, home-based Super Eagles seek win against Zanzibar is on page 32. And just one more at the bottom, too many stories here. How not fiscal position waxed stronger under Tinubu regime is credited to Bagudu. Cites huge critical infrastructure across states. Size allocations rose by over 340%. FG, states debt dropped by 33.4%. Jumai.
Yeah, okay, let's quickly go to the leadership newspaper. And the leadership newspaper above the masthead. Only Tinubu can end Zamfara insecurity, not Governor. Lawal, says Shinkafi. Details on page 25. IBB demands laws to guarantee democratic dividends. Find the details on page 29. And below the masthead, we see trending. FG working to avert ASU strike. That's coming from the Minister of Education. And LCCI orders slam NNPCL's no-sale decision on Port Harcourt refinery. Find the details on page 8. Communal clash in Gwagwalada leaves 1 dead, 31 houses burnt. Details on page 8. And patients stranded as nurses' midwife strike hits hospitals nationwide. Find the details on page 4. And at the side piece of the picture story, North has no regret supporting Tinubu. That's coming from Bagudu. Traditional Council, no plans to make Sultan Oni permanent chairman, says Etsu Nupe. You find the details on page 8. Coalition is not about Atiku's 2027 ambition. That's coming from the ADC. Details also on page 8. 6 children die in Jigawa boat accident. Details on page 6. And the picture story you see there, flood. 8 buildings collapse, graveyard submerged in Borno. You find all the details on page 4. Some flooded areas in Maiduguri. That's what you see there. It's quite an unfortunate situation, Mr. Chukudi.
Hospital services disrupted as nurses strike enters day 3. The job of a doctor, according to somebody who should know, is different from the job of a nurse. All the same, the nurse is very important in the chain of healthcare delivery. The doctor comes with his expert eyes, looks at the patient, drops 1 or 2 instructions, walks away. The real toil is carried through or carried out by the nurse.
And the
so
midwives.
the nurses and the midwives, I've had reason to interact with them in the past 33 days. It's still ongoing for me. So I know what I'm talking about. We pray that the warning strike, I think it's going to last 7 days. I think so. It's not indefinite.
They shouldn't have been allowed to go on the strike in the first
You know,
place.
I can't keep on sounding like a broken record, coming here to say that the first thing you give attention to in a country is health.
Health.
That's what you hear in the UK and the US. What is the health care like? Keir Starmer, British Prime Minister, nearly got into trouble the other time because NHS was thought to be of being toyed with by the Labour Party and all that. So let us not joke with
The health.
I'm one of those who say, pay them above every one of us. You know, I know journalists are going to get jealous because they work 25 out of the 24 hours of the day. But please, saving lives is on an entirely different pedestal.
Level, yeah.
Let's learn to elevate health to its status. And it's, who said yesterday that somebody's proposing that our elites get banned from medical tourism and all that. About time we implemented it so that we begin to take things seriously. Indians don't go on medical tourism. They take care of themselves within their country. They're not more developed than us.
Because their health system is top-notch.
Exactly. And you're talking about 1.3 billion people. So it's not as if Nigeria's 200 million plus is the issue. It is the attention or inattention we have accorded it. Let's come out of it. It's a rivalry that should not have started in the first place.
In the first place.
Please, it's very important. When I hear turnaround maintenance about refineries in Nigeria, I don't quite, I'm not comfortable. You know, when Tam David West came in as Babangida's oil minister, Victor, are you sure you know him? You know, I thought, when I started hearing Tam, I thought it was Tam David West named the, before I got to know about the turnaround maintenance.
Yes.
That story, they have been singing it for as long as I can remember. Now they are saying operating PH refinery ahead of full turnaround is ill-informed. Whatever methodology you adopt, we want fuel to flow seamlessly from those, you know, terminals.
Yes.
You know, I don't get it. We can't keep on talking about the same thing on and on.
Perhaps reduced cost. That's what will excite Nigerians.
No, the cost is coming down. Cost is coming down. I actually read yesterday somewhere that the other marketers are trying to sell below Dangote price. The price war has started. Competition is everything. Remember Glo and MTN. We're on the right track, you know. Things are coming down. It's just that we still say, however, whatever the degree of coming down we're experiencing, what comes from our pocket does not quite match the ruling prices out there. Juma should be paid more, and Victor as well. I know it will get to me, you know, in the same vein.
Okay, let's talk about the flooding in Maiduguri. It's the season. The whole country
It's the season.
You're getting flooded.
But,
it's unusual in a place like Maiduguri.
Yes.
We don't usually have
Actually,
things.
the world was on alert yesterday
the
when they
world,
talked about a tsunami likely to have come from a far end of Russia. Because
I saw the visuals.
You saw it. It was going to be almost half global.
Yes.
But later they dropped the, you know, the degree of alarm that it was sending out. it seems that nature decided to pull back a bit. Because when the elements strike, man is feeble indeed, you know. So the flood you talked about is seasonal. But the question we keep asking is, how proactive could we have been in terms of averting some of it? There are some you can't do anything about. The ice is melting and is pouring its waters onto land. So a little rain like this creates a deluge because the ice is melting. You know, I hear there's a big tear somewhere there now in the Arctic region. So these are the things. But on our own, are we making sure that we're not building structures on the pathway of water? It will eventually take the building down.
Water will always find its path.
That's the way it is.
We're not taking the climate change campaign seriously.
Seriously, it's just on paper.
We're not taking it
seriously. It's mostly on paper.
Not here, not anywhere.
Anywhere in the world.
No,
and the fact that we are not...
The European Union is trying to take the climate change seriously.
But we are not contributing to the omission. Why are we feeling the impact?
Yes, we are saying that they are the ones who are creating much of the emission, so they should compensate us really and all that. But I was going to my dear Donald Trump, his cracking and all that, the shell he wants to do and all that. It's still going on. But I think man should start taking certain things, you know, seriously. Because at the end of the day, he pays for what he has decided to ignore when he should have become a more serious person.
I was telling myself, you may go and learn how to swim. Because you don't hold it so much. If you don't know how to swim. I am going to learn how to swim.
Now, fire here saying I go end this world will not be water.
Okay, on that note, Chukwudi, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure.
Always good to be here.
So we'll take a break now. When we return, our conversation will begin. Don't go away.